welcome to Tarunayas. Today we will be discussing editorial analysis from The Hindu of 29th of October 2022. So let's see what the editorial is. The topic is closing the gap, and you can relate it with your general studies paper 1, that is social empowerment, specifically with women. Now what has happened, if you remember that earlier this year in the month of July, the New Zealand government had talked about giving equal pay to the women cricketers and started to started initiative in the field of generating wage parity or pay parity among the cricketers, women and men. Now recently in India, BCCI has done the same thing. It has created a parity between the men and women, between men and women when it comes to the international matches. So the centrally recruited cricketers will be paid equal amount, whether it is a male or it is a female, they will be given equal amount. So this is what the closing the gap means. So I have taken this article from Indian Express. So this particular was a small article, this particular box here, and this article has been written by a lady who herself has been an Indian cricket player. She was the first women's cricket captain, and she has also been a member of the BCCI's cricket advisory committee. So let's see what she has to say and what the news is. So this is Indian cricket team, Indian women cricket team, and the context is about the historic step which is taken by the BCCI towards reducing the gender gap in cricket. Now there are two important things which I would like to mention before we talk about the different aspects of the cricket and how the women, they are at a certain disadvantage when it comes to the sports also, and cricket in particular, because cricket in our country, it has been commercialized to such an extent that the male players, they not only play cricket but rather they are into brand promotion, they are endorsing different products and they are endorsing different brands, international brands, national brands. So everyone is busy signing male cricketers, but in such a limelight, in such a huge industry, in such a huge limelight, the women cricket team, it is struggling to find itself a space. And therefore there are two important things that I would like you to pay attention towards. First one is the global gender gap report that was published in the year 2022 by the World Economic Forum. Talks about that India had ranked 135th out of the 146, this is not 156, this is 146 countries, and it fared poorly on economic participation and opportunities parameters. That means when it comes to the economic opportunities, male and female, they are not on the same page. Male are at a certain advantage when it comes to finding newer opportunities, when it comes to finding newer economic opportunities. And as per the ILO Global Wage Report 2018-19, the mean gender pay gap in India was 34.5%, which is highest. The gender gap is highest among the 73 countries with varying levels of per capita income examined in the report. Now, according to this report, there exists a 34.5% of the gender gap in India. I mean the gender pay gap in India, and this was the ILO wage report of 2018-19. So having seen these two important reports, we can conclude that women, they are at a certain disadvantage as compared to the men. Now what happens, this is a particular field that we are talking about. We are talking about sports here, and that too in cricket. Because cricket, we know that in our country it is highly commercialized, and it has a huge fan following. People do go and watch cricket in the cricket stadiums and etc etc. There is a lot of investment in the cricket. We do hear then and now about the various scandals in the cricket and etc etc. So when it comes to the sports, even the even the kind of the sports do not have the parity. For example, hockey is not given that much importance in our country as the cricket is given. Tennis is not given so much of popularity and importance as the other events are given. So basically it is totally dependent upon the players who play that particular game to highlight the importance of the game. For example, let me take a very simple example. Nobody until Neeraj Chopra won gold medal in javelin throw knew about the javelin throw. Everybody knew about cricket, everyone knows about the hockey. Even some people would not even know there existed a women cricket team in India, and India started to have a women cricket team only 50 to 60 years after England and Australia. So therefore my point is that women sports do not have the parity. Some sports are glorified beyond a certain limit. Some sports about certain sports people do not even know. People do not even know there exists a sport called discus throw. There existed a sport called javelin throw until Neeraj Chopra won the gold medal. And therefore what I am trying to point here, that if the sports do not have the parity, then how the players who play that particular game are going to be, their hard work and efforts are going to be highlighted at the national level, if we as a citizen do not pay attention to different sports that are played in the country. Similarly, Indian women cricketers are not given their due importance. It has been recently then the Indian women cricket team has been highlighted. But still there is a lot to be done when it comes to the popularity of the Indian women cricketers, when it comes to the wage distribution, when it comes to the matches that are played between the women cricket teams, when it comes to the domestic matches, and also the matches at the international level. So because the writer herself has been a cricketer, therefore she points towards that yes, under the pay and equity policy, this is one of the historic steps which is taken by the BCCI. However, she says that there is a lot to be done in this regard. Sorry, this is because of some typing mistake. Please ignore this. So writer says that the recent changes, what are the recent changes? For a white ball match, 1 lakh rupees was given for the centrally contracted players, all right, and 4 lakh was given for a test match. Now it would be 15 lakh for a test match, and it would be 6 lakh for one day match and 3 lakh for the T20 international. Now the one point is to be noted here, that this is for the international matches. This is for the international matches. This is not for the domestic matches. The writer says that equality, this is however only one step the government has taken. The writer says the equality would follow if women players, they start to play more matches across all the formats. Now I am not a cricket enthusiast. I do not know much about the cricket. Probably those who watch cricket a lot, they would be knowing the different formats of the cricket, and they would understand that what format the writer is talking about. So probably she says that if women starts to play cricket more matches in all formats, then only we would be able to reach the level that the men cricket team has already reached. So this is what the writer point is, and there is a lot to be done when it comes to promoting the Indian women cricket team beyond this performative tokenism that the BCCI is giving. So the gender gap, it exists across all occupation in all industrial sectors. However, this is one step that has been taken by the BCCI in this regard. According to the writer, she appreciates it actually. So therefore, the writer says that when women praise cricket, she is not playing it merely as a profession. Like for her, for a woman in a patriarchal society who is not given due importance for her work in the domestic sphere, and when she steps outside the house, when she steps outside the premises of the house, then it's just not the profession she means, but the dignity which is associated with it, the emancipation, the liberty which is associated with it. So there is a lot of things that a woman tries to gain when she participates in an economic activity, when she participates in sports. So a sport is not just a profession for her, it is much more than a profession. So therefore much more needs to be done in order to recognize their hard work and their efforts in the field. um, in this year only, there was a image which was circulated, and the image was a was of a Pakistani female cricketer. Her name was Bisma Maroof, I guess. Yeah, her name was Bisma Maroof, and she had carried her daughter, her small daughter, and she started playing cricket. She resumed playing cricket post delivery of her daughter. Probably after 5 or 6 months, she started to play. So what I'm trying to bring by giving this example, that women, they go through a lot during their career, and after they become a mother, they have to struggle even more. For example, MC Mary Com. For example, MC Mary Com, like after giving birth to daughters, she did play international boxing matches, and she did won the world championship too. So what I'm trying to what important here is that the women, they need, in order to be given equal field to the women, we have to make certain special adjustment, considering the special circumstances that a women go through in her lifetime, and different circumstances that she has to face, different challenges she face, not only physically but mentally too, and socially too. Therefore some special advantages are to be given, considering the different position that she has. So India thus became the second nation, only after New Zealand, to have such arrangement of pay parity. And like I said, that Indian women cricket team, it came into existence 50 to 60 years after England and Australia. So the writer has given example of the wage gap, that after playing a cricket match, players like Virat Kohli, they take away some rupees 7 crores, but however Indian women players like Harmanpreet Kaur and Smriti Mandhana, they takes away only 50 lakh rupees. So such huge gap is there. Why there is a huge gap when it comes to this? When it comes to the wages, the first according to me is the recognition, that we do not recognize Indian women cricket team, that there is a women cricket team too in India. The second point is the popularity. The popularity is not achieved. The popularity is not achieved even among women. The Indian women cricket team is not popular, I think. Like if you ask who's your favorite cricket player, everyone would answer either Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, or etc etc. But nobody may not be intentionally, but subconsciously they are not going to take the name of a women cricketer. Right. Indian cricketer means it can be a female cricketer or it can be a male cricketer also, but subconsciously our thought process has it has processed the information in such a way that we only recognize the male cricketers. We would never answer this question by giving name of a female cricketer. So this is what I'm trying to say, that popularity is not there. Not even the subconscious mind of the citizens of India would recognizes their efforts. So second point is this. The third point is this: the industry is male oriented. The brand promotion, the brand endorsements, everything is done by male. The international brands are taking the male cricketers. None of the person is focusing on the Indian women cricketers. The fourth point is that women's they faces lot of challenges throughout their life. For example, after marriage, for example, after pregnancy. All right, so they faces a lot of challenges. So this is one point. So 4 points I have discussed. you may come up with some other points that why such wage parity exists. It's just not only about the sports. According to the writer, it's just not the sports. It's about every occupation, every industrial sector that women are at a disadvantage. However, the writer talks about the recent events which have occurred in when it comes to the Indian women cricket team. They won the silver medal at the Birmingham Commonwealth Games. Women Indian Premier League has been announced. Now IPL is very popular in our country. IPL see domestic as well as international players. Now, if we do have women's Indian Premier League, then we would see more domestic players in the IPL, in women IPL, and therefore across different parts of the country, different sections and different pool of cricketers would be represented here, and it is going to benefit them. So writer talks about that what more can be done. If this is not sufficient, this is one of the initiative that the BCCI has taken. However, there is lot more need to be done in this regard. The first thing that the writer says is about the number of the matches. We need to have more number of matches at the domestic cricket as well as the international level, so as to have women cricketers remunerate fairly. Currently, the pay parity, it benefits only the elite 20 to 25 contracted players, not all. The writer talks about the multi-day format matches that can be played. Writer also talks about having an agreement between different cricket boards so as to have different matches between the two different teams from different countries, and then make it and popularize it and make it more popular among the youth, especially the female. So that's what the writer talks about, and the writer has also given examples that how the BCCI has taken certain steps in this regard apart from the pay parity. The first step that the writer has taken is the interzonal matches for the seniors in both ODIs and T20. The writer has given also example of the under 15 segment. This is going to attract the youth. This is going to attract more female in the cricket, and therefore popularize the cricket for the females. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching Tarun IS. Have a nice day.